world full of Uniteds.
It is a magic moment from Heung-min Son!
Cities.
Through to Lucas Moura!
And Rovers.
Harry Kane! Oh, what a goal!
There is only one Hotspur.
Glory, glory, Tottenham Hotspur!
Hello and welcome back to another episode of the One Hotspur podcast. I'm Tobey from _Spurs Center, and today I'm joined by Bodhi from Hotspur.industry and Max from the Hotspur News. How you guys doing?
Yeah, I'm all right.
Alrighty. Today we're going to be reviewing that disheartening 2-2 draw against Newcastle, and then we'll jump into our preview for the Manchester United game. But to start out with Newcastle, really just depressing way to concede, especially against an Arsenal loanee right at the death of the game. And seems like Newcastle are starting to become a bit of our bogey team, doesn't it? Max, we can start with you. This one.
I think this game is just, for me, it's just a prime example of what our season's been like. Individual errors, throwing more points away, not taking the opportunity. I mean, literally, like looking at the results that went our way last weekend, this game, like literally top four was handed on the plate to us. And to be honest, it was just written in the stars. We were just going to throw it away. Like it's happened so many times. I mean, bottling's always been in our DNA. I actually predicted a 2-2 draw myself before. Really? It was actually a few days before. Until I saw that Wilson and Saint-Maximin was out. But I'm sorry, the fact Newcastle had 22 shots, 22. They had 5 at the back without Callum Wilson and Saint-Maximin starting. It's just, it's just such a lackluster performance. And and in terms of the mentality, weak as well, considering top four is the only route of getting Champions League now. Yesterday, it looked like the players just didn't want it. Yeah.
And it's the other just depressing side of it is because going into the game, I thought that was probably our best 11. Maybe obviously Son would go in for Carlos Vinicius and my starting best 11, but we should have been able to get a result against that Newcastle team. And I mean, it's so unbelievably just heart-wrenching to be especially in the context of yesterday's game of Chelsea dropping points to West Brom, and all we had to do was get one win and we would be in the top 4 again. And Leicester dropped points, so it would have been even an opportunity for us to make up some ground on them. But something I did want to consider is that even though we did not end up winning and not jumping into the top 4, we are only 2 points off the top 4 now. So hopefully Chelsea continues to, kind of drop some points here and there, and we can continue to make up the gap. But nonetheless, it's a wasted opportunity, regardless of how you want to look at it. But who was your man of the match in yesterday's game?
People were going to expect me to say Harry Kane, but I'm going to go with something different. I'm going to say Joe Rodon. I think he was our only good defender. I mean, people could talk about Tanganga was poor. Yes, he was poor, but I've seen people going too hard on Tanganga, such as one other member of the podcast. I'm not going to reveal who it is, but he did go in on Tanganga after the game. And I just understand about that. I don't think he was poor. He was just average, and Reguilon was just as poor as Tanganga, in my opinion. And it's just unneeded, to be honest. And to be honest, Tanganga wasn't even bad. He just caught out. Tanganga, as well as Reguilon, they both just got caught out defensively. Okay, going forward they were okay, but defensively they got caught out. I mean, Sanchez, everyone knows how Sanchez played. I mean, both his goals he could have done a lot better for, but at the same time, I thought Joe Rodon was the only defender yesterday who I could say, he had a very good game. I think he only made one error, which was a misplaced pass to, I think it was Højbjerg in the first half. But other than that, he won every header, blocked many shots like he did with Wales in the international break. So, I mean, Kane does what he does. He scored 2 goals and he's pretty much carried our team this season. But Rodon, I'll tell you what, that boy has a big future ahead of him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Bodhi. Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know what Charles was thinking saying that about Tanganga. I mean, he had a good performance against Villa.
Mhm.
But I never really thought, because obviously people think, oh yeah, this and that about Tanganga. He's either terrible or he's one of the best prospects. He needs a loan. I said this before, and Charles like after Villa was like, "Nah, you're deluded." But now he's saying he's dog shit. So it's like, just make up your mind. I think he needs a loan, like Skip did, like Foyth.
I'm gonna just say this to the fans real quick. I'm gonna just say this to the viewers. After the Villa game, okay, fair enough. Okay, fair enough. Bodhi's giving it away now. Yeah, it was Charles who said that. But after the Villa game, Charles labelled him as the English Maldini. And after yesterday's game, I don't know what happened. But all of a sudden he's called him dog shit. I don't.
And I think just the most ironic part about this, before we start like going to and on Charles, I think it's not just like Charlie. Obviously, like there's a lot of people that are very reactionary and go out on our players like that. And the biggest part for me is everyone would be singing Tanganga's name and talking about what a great performance he had yesterday. If you remember in the game when he went up for that second ball on the corner and his header got cleared off the line. If that had gone in, everyone would be talking about what a great player he is and how solid he was and this and that. And I think it's just, it sucks the way it worked out. I mean, with his shot getting cleared off the line, Kane's shot hitting the post, and then them going back and equalizing. But I mean, that's been the story of our season, with just great chances that we have that we don't put away, and then we just allow the other team to come back into the game. And it's a really weak mentality. But something I do want to say, is we had a decent mentality, after conceding, immediately going back and scoring, and then scoring a second one. I think it was 4 or 5 minutes later. That was great. Why we didn't play like that the whole game, though, I guess we'll never know.
Exactly.
Because if we could play like that, if we would have played that even for 45 minutes, we would have been up 5-0 going into halftime. But
yeah,
it's just rather unfortunate the way it all worked out. I'm going to go onto our Instagram. If you don't follow it, it's called the One Hotspur Pod, or not it's just One Hotspur Pod. No capitals, lowercases, underscores, periods, or anything like that. And from Sam, member of the pod, it's time to go for our defense. Only Rodon Tanganga should stay. Dan.Smith 1 says Tobey and Sanchez or Rodon, 2 youngsters, can't hold that senior figure in the back line. Needs Tobey's seniority in there. From the Hobson defensive shit, how many giveaways did our back four have today? Sanchez is dreadful. And I think that is just, so that's all the comments on the defense. So I do think that maybe we need Tobey's seniority in there and his just general leadership, because I think Sanchez.
The Tobey comment. Hey, make a Tobey comment. Can I just ask?
Yeah,
because he's so whoever made the Tobey comment, I 100% agree, because I'd say looking at that back four yesterday, apart from Regulon, who may have a big experience because of Europa League winner and stuff like that, there is no experience in that back four. Literally no experience. Tanganga's 20, Rodon's 20. Sanchez is still only 24. There's literally no experience in that back line whatsoever. And I'd say having Tobey in that back line just makes it so much more commanding. I know he may be losing his legs and stuff in terms of his sharpness and everything, but in my opinion, Tobey's still got it. I'd still keep him at the club. Signing a contract last season. In my opinion, he's still up there with some of the best centre backs in the Premier League. Even when he's not as sharp as he used to be. So it's just so frustrating, because even during the period when we were top of the league, it was Tobey and Dyer, and I think any centre back looks good next to Tobey. Sanchez is good next to Tobey. Rodon was good next to Tobey. Even Dyer was good next to Tobey. And just having that experience in that back line just makes it look so much better.
That was something else I was talking about. Not on a pod or anything. I was just talking to someone through the Instagram. But it's just funny to me, after I think I agree that we should start Tobey, but after the games where we weren't performing so well and Tobey was playing, everyone was talking about how he wasn't strong enough in the air. We should just get him out of the team. And like this, now he is out of the team, and we're still not playing well. And now people are saying like, oh, he's the solution. He's going to fix everything. And I totally do agree that we should bring him back in, but I don't think we can expect him to fix all our problems because it's just we're not having a great year. But yeah, Bodhi, go ahead.
Now, personally, I would sell him. I mean, I feel like he has the leadership and the experience, but he doesn't. But he's just not. He's not an actual good enough centre back to be starting for us. I reckon if you had like, let's say if you had like a hybrid of Rodon, like Rodon as an all-round defender, and then you had like Tobey's mentality, you'd have one of the best centre backs in the Premier League. And it's just like, but the problem is that Alderweireld, in some ways, can be a bit of a liability.
Yeah.
You know, like in the air and stuff. That's why you had like Sanchez. Sanchez is good in the air, good at blocking shots. Tobey, all he can really do is command and pass. For me personally, he can do a little bit defensively, but ever since he's past 31, he's really fell off. And next season, I would probably look to try and move him on and get someone new in. I'm sorry if no one agrees, but it just seems the most reasonable way for us to, because let's be real. I mean, he's not good enough to play for a title contending team.
Well, I mean, it's unlikely we're going to be challenging for the title this season, or I mean, next coming season. But if Tobey does go, we do need to sign someone who's like solid, experienced, because we're gonna miss that leadership, and even just someone who our young defenders at Tanganga, Rodon, Sanchez, if we keep him, can learn from in training. But yeah, I mean, as far as like the remainder of the season goes, I think that Tobey Alderweireld should be at least in the match day squad. And I don't know if you guys saw, but after the game, Mourinho said something along the lines of Alderweireld wasn't there because he didn't train on Wednesday because his COVID test wasn't done. But his COVID test was done and he did train on Wednesday. So Mourinho's making up a reason for why he wasn't there, which is obviously false. So who knows what's going on in that situation, but maybe Alderweireld and Mourinho fell out or something, but I don't know. It's concerning. Going back to the comments though, we had a few more. My Instagram is not doing so great. Sorry, it's just taking a moment to load. Going in here, we have another comment. Horrible to watch, and I think I was just referring to the style of play. But I mean, to give Mourinho credit where it's due, he did make 3 attacking substitutions. I think it was Lamela, Lamela, Bale, and Son. So that was the 3 most attacking players we had, or the most experienced attacking players we had on the bench. I know Scarlett was there, but he's only going to get minutes if we're 2 or 3 up with like the final 5 minutes, probably. But.
I mean, you can't really blame the tactics for the draw yesterday.
Yeah.
I mean, because for me, like, I'm watching the game on our watch long, and we're pushing for the third goal. Obviously, Kane at the post, Tanganga off the line, Lamela side netting. What's so frustrating is that Newcastle go down the other end and score their equaliser after Kane hits the post. It just sums it up. And of course, it's Joe Willock as well, isn't it? Out of all people, and it's pretty much karma because I saw on the watch long, what's Joe Willock going to do when he came on? And then, jinxed it, and but at the same time, just going back to what I said, like, I don't think it's a tactics whatsoever. I mean, people could blame Mourinho all they want, and in my opinion, I think the bias in the in like the press media is like really unfair towards Mourinho. But at the same time, I thought the substitutions were good. Apart from the Bale one, like, I just didn't see the point of bringing Bale on with 3 minutes to go. You know what I mean? Plus added time.
Honestly, I think that the biggest reason for bringing Bale on was to take that one free kick.
Yeah, which he blasted
over. Yeah,
I don't know.
All right, yeah, Bodhi, what were you gonna say?
Right, on the topic of free kicks, why the hell does Harry Kane hit so many goddamn
Yeah.
free kicks? He
Thank
hits the
you.
bloody wall every goddamn time. I'm sick to death of it. When I see a
Mhm.
free kick and I'm thinking, well, this is a dangerous position. Imagine the Celso killing this one top ins, and I see Harry Kane thinking, lovely. All right,
Yeah.
let's move on to the next one.
Mhm.
But it's just so frustrating. But
Mhm.
going back, tracking back to what I wanted to say before, I do partly blame Jose a little bit about the tactics. And I don't usually do this much. I'm most of the time I think Jose's in the right, but I think the subs were right. I think bringing Son and Vinicius on, Son and Lamella on was definitely the best substitutes and the necessary ones. But I just didn't like how he set it up with a 4-2-3-1. Every single time we've grinded out results, we've used a diamond or a 4-4-2. It was in the Southampton game. It was in the Villa game. We always, every time we play 4-4-2 or 4-1-2-1-2 diamond, we're always balling the game. We maintain complete possession. We always create chances. When you have Son running in behind the defense, that's where the whole partnership came from. The partnership didn't come from Son on the left and Kane in the middle. Kane dropped deep in a false nine, and then let Son made runs through in the center of the park. It's how it works, and I think people are deluded to still think the 4-2-3-1's the formation to go. It's honestly one of the worst formations in the game, not because it's an actual bad formation, but just because every club uses it and knows how to beat that formation. 4-4-2, people think it's an outdated formation, but now, because so little teams use it, it's become one of the best formations to use, and no one predicts it. Like when we used the diamond, we were so predictable. But now that no one uses the diamond, if we used it, I can guarantee we could be doing way better than what we are now. There's a load of players that Jose needs to give a run out on the pitch. There's a load of players that he needs to sell. And realistically, while I don't think Jose should go by any means, there's a lot of things he could have done that could have changed the way the game could have went.
Mhm. I mean, I agree with that. I think that I think when the lineup first came out, I thought it was going to be a 4-4-2 diamond with Lucas through the middle, and then Kane and Vinicius up top, and then in the second half when Son came on, I thought we would just stay in that formation with Son on the top and then Kane playing as a flank. And I thought we've talked about this in the group chat, but I thought Lucas Moura was pretty poor in the game yesterday, and he played well against Villa. I don't think this is like any reason to take him out of the squad, but I think Lucas Moura plays so much better as an attacking mid than he does out on the right. I think because when he's an attacking mid, he just has the option to go left or right, and on the mid, on the wing, he either has to take the line or he cuts inside, and he just doesn't seem to work as well in that situation.
Yeah,
he likes to like slalom between defenders, and without like that option, he gets kind of lost out there, and he doesn't have the same effect on games as when he is an attacking mid. I think that's one of his like maybe weaknesses as a player. I don't know if that's the best way to put it, but we're not using him to his strengths if we play him out on the wing.
I completely agree. I think Lucas Moura is a great player, but he's not very good all around. I feel like he's not the type of player that would turn up unless you're playing him to all of his strengths.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think going back to what Max was saying a little earlier about the media, sorry, this is going a little farther back in the conversation, but I do think that there's a bit of a media agenda against Mourinho because people don't like his tactics, and so they just root against him. Because I mean, Pep's first season at City, they finished 5th. They didn't do anything in Europe. I don't think they won anything. And all the media said was, "Oh, his tactics take time, this and that. His style has to be implemented. He needs his players." And then Klopp, I think it took Klopp like 3 years before he won anything. And the media said like, "Oh, it takes time to do a rebuild." And Mourinho we're 2 points off the top 4. And all the media is talking about is how Jose's finished. So I think that is like a bit unfair. And I think Spurs fans are getting a little carried away with like saying Mourinho is finished. Because I like Mourinho. I mean, I'm going to back the current manager until he gets sacked. And I think that's going to be the case for me for any manager that we have. I mean, I want them to succeed. And Mourinho, if Mourinho wins the Carabao Cup this season, he's been more successful than Pochettino has. And he's accomplished that in 2 years. Yeah, go ahead, Max.
Yeah, I was going to say Mourinho. I saw this post on Instagram saying, if I asked you at the start of the season, would you be happy with saying like at this stage, like 2 points off the top four and in the Carabao Cup final, would you be happy with that at the start of the season? In my opinion, kind of, because first of all, it's an improvement to last season. We started in 14th, remember, with Mourinho, and also like we must consider these are still Mourinho's players. It's the same players who are underperforming for Poch. These are the same players who are doing the same thing under Mourinho, like the likes of Sanchez and Dyer, etc. Davis, you know the rest. But yeah, in my opinion, like overall, like it's not been a bad season, but at the same time, it's so frustrating because, in my opinion, like we're capable of so much more. Like especially if we get the right players as well, like literally, like we're capable of being such a good side.
I agree with that. I was talking to my dad a little earlier today, and I was talking about like our best players this season, and obviously Kane and Son are probably the two best players, and then I'd say maybe this is getting a little overhyped, but I'd say Rodon is probably up there just for like every time he's played, he's been solid. And then Reguilon, Dombele, and Højbjerg are probably three of the other ones, and so those four players are all players that Mourinho has brought in. So you can see like the players that Mourinho is bringing in are the players that are performing. Players that haven't done so well this season: Harry Winks, Eric Dyer, Musa Sissoko, Dele Alli, Ben Davis. They're all players that Pochettino brought through the academy. And Eric Dyer was a Mourinho player for a while there, but regardless, like this squad isn't Mourinho's yet, I don't think. I think if he's given just a little backing this summer and if we can finally get through this painful rebuild that has been kind of haunting us for the past few years since Poch has gotten sacked, I think that's when we can finally push on. But until we get to that point, it's just going to be consistently underperforming or not hitting the heights that we as fans think we can hit. Because until we do that, I mean, we're just going to be stuck in this loop of replacing players one at a time, and it's not going to work.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, overall, I think we should let Mourinho get the players he wants because we saw what he can do. Like, I mean, for me, like Højbjerg is a Mourinho type player. Like, he's literally like a commander on that pitch, and I'd say let Mourinho get the players he wants because I'd say a good 90% of the players that Mourinho's brought in since he's joined Tottenham have turned out to be very good ones. Obviously, Sergio Reguilon. Gareth Bale's been okay this season overall. Obviously, Højbjerg as well. Steven Bergwijn's been okay as well. I think Bergwijn needs more of a chance. Jedson Fernandez, that was a flop. I know that for a fact. But yeah, I think overall, I think a good majority of the people, a good majority of the players that like Mourinho's brought in since he's signed the contract with Spurs have turned out to be very good ones. So. So I guess in terms of defenders, let him get the ones he wants because obviously because the thing is like Mourinho knows what he's doing. Like, he's one of the most decorated managers in football history. So just let him do what he does, and if it doesn't work out, then you could sack him. Yeah.
Sorry, Bodhi, I'll get to you in 1 second. Another thing to consider, I feel like Mourinho's signings have had a more having like better overall than Poch's. I mean, because when you consider Mourinho, people will argue about whether or not Carlos Vinicius was his first choice and whether or not they really like him. I think he's fantastic, especially as a backup striker. And you look at Pochettino's backup striker signings, Janssen, Clinton Nagy, Fernando Llorente. All three of those were...
Oh, God. Janssen. I'll never forget Janssen.
Yeah, I mean, I think Carlos Vinicius, Clinton Nagy didn't score once for us. Vincent Janssen, I think he scored... I don't remember him quite as well. I think he scored like 12 maybe. And I think
he scored a fair amount, but he was awful.
Yeah,
like, he scored a fair amount.
Penalties mostly, I think. And then I liked but he's just typing in the chat. I liked Llorente. I liked Llorente too. But he scored 14 in 70 appearances, so he wasn't like a goal getter either. And Vinicius is on 9 this season, right? He's on 9 out of I think 10 starts now after the Aston Villa game.
Yeah.
And yes, Bodhi, what were you gonna say?
See, this is the thing, right? I am not worried one bit. I don't care if we finish 10th this season. I am not worried one bit about Jose getting sacked or anything bad happening. As far as I'm concerned, the future of Tottenham for at least the next 2 seasons is going exactly the way I would want it to. Jose's Levy's too stingy, right? Sack Jose for 30 million euros. How could you be stupid to sack one of the best managers in the world just for 30 freaking million euros? It's ridiculous, right? So he's gonna stay. I don't care if you're Jose out or Jose in. It's inevitable. He's going to stay, right? Levy's going to spend big money in the summer, and I know this because Spurs are going to sell off the naming rights of the stadium by huge money. Alatia gold, right? I keep forgetting to. I don't know how to pronounce his name properly.
Alistair?
Alistair Gold. Yeah, sorry. Alistair Gold. He talked about in his recent YouTube video, right, about Spurs wanting a lot of money for the naming rights, right? And this is one of the most reliable Tottenham journalists in the world, so you know it's true.
Yeah.
And he was talking about how Spurs want a lot of money for it, and they're discussing it. British Airways is not even close to the fee that he wants. And when he gets those naming rights, which you know he will, big money can be spent. You have Skip and Sessegnon coming back. Jose's going to know exactly who he's going to want to sell, and Levy will get them all gone. He's the best businessman in the whole of football. Well, one of at least. You can't deny that. He's gonna get rid of all the dead wood. New fresh players are gonna come in. Youth and quality players. I have no doubt that Skriniar is gonna join. I was a bit unsure of it at first, but he's going to join. It's inevitable.
Wow, you think so?
No, I don't think so. I know so. I can put my right leg, my left leg. I can put my entire house on it. It's going to happen. He will sign in.
I remember this.
Oh, yes.
I remember this.
You can remind me when we sign him. You can remind me, because I know this will happen. Skriniar will join. A few other big name players will join. It's a really bright future for Tottenham, and I may be disappointed and annoyed in the moment, but then I just look forward and then I realize how good of Spurs have probably got one of the best. I think Spurs will have one of the best turnarounds in the whole of football.
Yeah.
I think now people are talking about challenging for title. No, I think next season we will be challenging for the title. I have no doubt in my mind. I know people think, I'm just being overconfident. I'm so certain that of what's going to happen. I can bet anything I have on it happening because I know it. I know it'll happen. I'm never wrong. I know it'll happen.
I think that's a little overconfident saying you're never
No,
wrong.
Sorry,
but
I know it's going to happen. I can bet anything on it. It's going to happen. You're going to sell off the naming rights, sell all the deadwood. New players are going to come in. It's an exciting future. I wouldn't if I'm as a Tottenham fan. I am not worried one bit about the club's future.
I think
to be honest,
something to consider too is
I agree with him.
Yeah, go ahead, Max.
Yeah, to be honest, I can see where he's coming from because you saw we were literally top of the league in December. I'm telling you, I agree with Bodhi because we are literally one back line away from competing for the title. Yes, I know Man City are just really good at the moment, but we are literally a couple of centre backs, maybe a right back, and maybe I don't know. I guess maybe another right winger away from competing the title. We are literally 4 or 5 good players away. I'm telling you, I don't see why we can't compete for the title, but we need to get rid of this deadwood. Bring in in terms of defenders, bring in defenders who know what they're doing, commanding centre backs, and none of this
already removed one of those players that we need.
Exactly. And also we've got players coming back. Obviously, Sessegnon ripping it up at Hoffenheim, Skip ripping it up at Norwich. And Alfie Devine, Dane Scarlett coming through.
I think Alfie Devine. I feel like next season he's gonna be never mind. I would talk about we need to sign Coutinho. I think Alfie Devine is going to be one of Tottenham's most crucial players next season.
I think
him and Scarlett, maybe a little less Scarlett. I think Alfie Devine's going to be the only youth academy player in Spurs that's going to start consistent games. I think if we've qualified for like Champions League, Europa League, I think Dane Scarlett will get a few minutes and every now and then. Alfie Devine's the only youngster I could genuinely see him start Premier League games, and I think he will because he's one of the most creative players at Tottenham, and he's only 16.
Yeah, I think Devine has the benefit of there's not really another attacking midfielder at the club, or there's not another natural attacking midfielder at the club at the moment, because Dombele and Lo Celso seem to be more of like 8s rather than 10s, and Lucas Moura is sort of an attacking mid, sort of a right winger. But I think just overall things are coming together for Spurs in the sense that our stadium is built, our training ground is built, our the naming rights should be coming in, like you were saying, and our academy is doing really well right now. I mean, it's producing. I think we have like 4 strikers that the people in the academy seem to be really excited about. Those are Keon Atete, Troy Parrott, Dane Scarlett, and Jamie Donnelly. But I mean, if you look at the Premier League 2 table and the under 23s table and the U18s table, I think we're doing pretty well in all of them. So we have a lot of talent that's in the academy right now. Alistair Gold, I was talking about Rashawn Motherin, or I think that's how you say it, who scored a hat trick against Chelsea in an academy game a few weeks ago.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Dennis Sirkin is highly thought of. Dylan Markanday was obviously brought along into Europe. Niall John played in Europe. Marcel Laviniere played in Europe. Yeah, I don't. sorry if I mess up any of these names, but so we do have a lot of academy players that seem like they have first team talent. So obviously I just named off like 5 or 6, and there's probably more, given that we can't watch the academy games. But even if just 2 or 3 of them come through and they turn out to be top quality talent, and the other 4 maybe aren't quite good enough, that's another source of revenue if we end up selling them. So
you know what's going to happen, right? Sissoko, Winks, and Delhi will go, and those 3 players will be replaced by youth academy players. I'm saying Alfie Devine, Oliver Skip, and maybe Harvey White. Maybe even I know you're thinking. What, Harvey White? No, I think even Harvey White. I think the whole of the midfield, anyone in the midfield that leaves, will be replaced by the youth academy, because all of our midfielders in the youth academy, they're good enough to take that step. They actually have the hunger, the drive, and some of them are technically more gifted than some of our starters, which sounds mental considering not long ago we were challenging for the Premier League.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I do think you're getting a little overexcited on a few of our academy players. I like it, but I mean, Harvey White is struggling for game time at Portsmouth right now, so he's not going to jump into our first team.
I don't know how many languages there are, but I'm speaking facts, right? I am speaking pure facts. At the minute we've got the best youth prospects in the world of any club, and I have no doubt loads of them will break into the first team. And a lot of starters will go, and we will be challenging for that title next season. Maybe not win it, but we'll finish at least top 3. And you can remind me of that.
So, I do love how confident you are in our academy, but I don't see what you're saying coming through. I think Dane Scarlett, if anyone's going to be making the jump into the first team next season, it's going to be him. I mean, obviously Oliver Skip and Sessegnon. But people coming straight from the academy, not back from loans. I feel like it's going to be Scarlett, given that Mourinho has already said how excited he is about Scarlett and how he's going to be a first team rotation player next season. I think he said that after the West Brom game, maybe when he made his Premier League debut. But yeah, I think just maybe don't put so much pressure on them. I think that Harvey White needs probably another season out on loan. I don't think he's ready to step into the first midfield yet.
I'm not putting pressure on them because I know what's coming. I've looked into this I've spent hours looking into this. It's so obvious what the development plan is for next season. Even in Jose's press conferences, he's practically telling you that so much of the youth academy is going to be implemented next season, and he would have done it more in the Europa League if we were still in. But since we're not, all we have to do is we have to stick with our strongest side week in, week out, and try and get what we can. But next season, the youth is going to be a huge part of Tottenham, And you can deny it all you want, but it's going to be facts, because not only do we have, and I think Spurs. This is another reason why Spurs are is in one of the best positions of any club in the world at the minute, because like I said, we have one of the best youth academies in the world, and when you're in a situation where you are so financially dependent on your youth academy because you have no money. Spurs, realistically here, Spurs are in the best position of pretty much any club, just because of how good the youth academy is. Lots of dead wood will be leaving, even if it's just for cheap. A lot of it will be leaving, and a lot of youth will come in, and we'll make a few really good signings. And
Mhm.
and I know, you can say, like, you can agree with me or not. I'm fine, because I know I believe what I believe, and you can do what you do, but it's facts. I mean, it's so plain to see what's gonna happen,
All right. I
and
think we're
that's
definitely going
what
to come
makes
back to this, whether or not
yeah
you're right. I
yeah
mean,
we
you're going to
will,
tell
yeah,
us
we
if
definitely
it
will.
does come true. You're
I'm
going to
I'm so
rub it in all our faces. But
I'm so pissed
before
about
before
what's gonna happen.
I think we should just get Max's take on the academy situation, and then we'll move on from this particular topic.
On the academy.
Yeah. What do you think about the academy? Which players do you think can break through next season?
Yeah, I agree. Obviously Alfie Devine, it's kind of baffling how he's the same age as me and he's doing this well. Obviously Dane Scarlett just turned 17. I agree. I think Alfie Devine could be a key player next season. I guess especially in terms of his creativity. Harvey White's doing well at Portsmouth. Dane Scarlett doing well in the first team. And also Mourinho said Scarlett's going to get some minutes in the first team next season, isn't he? So yeah, so I guess that's a positive. But Dane Scarlett. Also, I want Lavender to get some more game time because he looked all right when he played against. He looked all right when he played against Wolfsburg. And now John, not so much, but obviously he's still young, like I said. Get him some more game time. Yeah, I'd say Skip. Session's coming back, hopefully. Who else is there? Harvey White.
Troy
I'd say
Parrott's
Dennis
still out on
Kirk.
loan.
Yeah,
I don't think he's going to be part of the first game of the season, but
I say Dennis Kirkin. I've heard good things about Alfie Whiteman as well in goal.
Yeah.
So so like Bodhi said, obviously the academy could play a big part next season. In my opinion, we have one of the best academies, along with Chelsea, Arsenal, etc. So 100%. I think the academy could play a big part next season, as well as.
Don't mention Chelsea and Arsenal, right? Our academy is way better than them. It is way now. I heard you, Tobey. I heard you. Like I know I sound extremely over infusing.
To be fair, we did just beat Chelsea's academy 6-1.
Not exactly. I'm not. I know I'm sounding a little overconfident, right? And maybe I am, right? But it's just I feel like people are not. Then they're just so focused on how we're doing now that they're not looking at who is, because people don't realize behind the scenes how desperate these young players are to step on the pitch and do their best for the club, and this is why Jose will be focusing on the youth academy so much, because the biggest problem at Spurs right now is a lack of desire within the players to play for Jose Mourinho, and he will sell those players.
I think that's why he went with that same lineup against Newcastle, because that's the same team that beat Aston Villa 2-0. I think he went with players who want to fight for the badge. Well, in my opinion, anyway. Like obviously, you still got to have a bit of quality in there, such as Ndombele and Kane, etc. But at the same time, like against Aston Villa, I guess Mourinho made a statement. He went with players who want to fight for the badge, and he just gave minutes. And in my opinion, like, against Villa, I guess Mourinho put the lineup out as I guess it's like Kim saying, we've just got nothing else to do. Like we might as well just like try something different, and it worked. So, and in my opinion, like I don't think it was wrong for him not to change the lineup. Like I fully agree with Mourinho playing the same lineup yesterday, because the thing is, like, why change a winning formula? Like just keep the right, you know what I mean? Like just keep the players who are playing well in that same lineup. And therefore build momentum, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so,
I completely agree. I mean, we really needed momentum. and Bodhi is very excited about the academy this episode. We're gonna let him say one more
He's
thing.
very, very excited. Very excited.
No, I'm not. No, but no, I know.
The voice of facts. The voice of facts.
The voice of facts.
I'm excited about the academy. Excited about the academy.
No, but
according to himself.
look, I'm gonna keep this short, right?
All right.
We got you got
Please.
Kip, Devine, Sessegnon, Scarlett, Harvey White, maybe even Jack Clark, right? You got even Carter Vickers. Like, who would have thought when we saying Carter Vickers? He's been tearing it up for Bournemouth.
He's been doing very well for Bournemouth. I think, in all likelihood, though, we're going to sell him this summer. I mean, I'd like to see him come back, especially considering he's American. But
but I mean, even if we do sell these players, if you think about how well they're doing for their current club, even if you sell them for a good fee because they've been playing well. So it's just like there's nothing that can go wrong for Spurs right now in the long term.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing can go wrong for Spurs long term. Like maybe short term we're not doing great, but it's like no matter how bad we're doing, long term we are going to be one of the best clubs in the world, and I have no doubt.
I mean, say what you will about ENIC, they did do a very good job of setting up the infrastructure of the club with the training ground, stadium, the academy coaches, bringing back Ryan Mason to be an academy coach. I've heard good things about Ryan Mason. Paul O'Keefe has said that he's well respected amongst the board. The board really likes him, and he's just highly rated. So highly rated, in fact, that if Mourinho gets sacked before the end of the season, he's the favorite to be the interim manager until the summer. But yeah, I do think overall Spurs are set up well for the future, especially considering the academy. But I think we've talked about the Newcastle game long enough.
I think we've spoken about the academy and the recent performance long enough. Like, I think we should move on to something else.
Let's get into the Man United preview. How confident are you guys going into this game?
Not at all. I've seen like a few fans saying they're confident because we beat them 6-1. I mean, are you okay? Because the 6-1's irrelevant now.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm a little nervous that Man United's gonna
obviously, like United are second, we're sixth. No, sorry, not sixth, fifth right now, aren't we? Yeah, we're fifth.
As long as everything scores.
But the main reason I'm not confident is our record against the so-called Big Six this season.
Yeah,
it's been quite poor. I'd say especially at home. I think at home we lost to Liverpool and Chelsea. We beat City and Arsenal, and we lost to Leicester. And we've still got to play United there. And also overall our Premier League record against United. Fair enough. Like, I know we beat them 6-1, but I don't care about that anymore. But I'm talking about the last 5 years. Like, our overall Premier League record against United, like the last 4 or 5 seasons, has been really poor as well. So I'm not too confident, but at the same time, literally, like, get Tobey and Rodon paired together in that back lineup. Play Reguilon, play Lucas Moura. Like, just play your best players. And just let them do what they do. Like, fight for the badge. And you never know. Like, we could win again. Who knows? But going into the game, looking at the form we're in, and looking at the way that, I say especially looking at the mood of the fan base, especially, I'm not too confident. But then again, I have to always remain positive because that's what I've done all season.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing I'm worried about here is that the players of Manchester United are going to have a huge point to prove. And they're all on much better form than they were at the beginning of the season. I mean, say what you will about Harry Maguire. He's been performing very well for Manchester United recently. Luke Shaw at the beginning of the season was probably one of the worst left backs, and then he's really grown since then. And now people are saying he's the best left back in the league. I thought actually Eric Bailly played pretty well last time against us, but he was like their only good player. And then Martial. Martial was upset about his red card. Bruno Fernandes got subbed at halftime last time out, so they're all going to have somewhat of a point to prove in terms of redeeming themselves, or that's what I'm sure that's what Ole is going to be trying to motivate them with. So I think we should have to be careful going into the game, make sure we're not too cocky and overconfident. And I think,
sorry to interrupt you. Sorry to interrupt. Like, I know this is I'm sorry to interrupt. I'm so sorry to interrupt you. Like, I know this is completely off topic here, but it's so frustrating because Palace have just equalised against Everton in stoppage time. Like, it's so frustrating. Like,
Yes.
teams around us have dropped points this week,
Mhm.
and we just can't, and we just never seem to capitalise onto it. But that's important. But yeah, anyways, carry
Yeah.
on. So I was
Well,
just starting to mention that.
I mean, it is not great that the teams around us like are all dropping points on the same week we drop points, but it's better that they are dropping points the same week that we drop points because, I mean, it's better that they don't pull away from us because Everton now they still have a game in hand on us, which is frustrating, but they're only 2 points behind us if this result holds. So hopefully Crystal Palace can find a winner.
I don't know.
But, yeah, I mean, we gotta have Wolves pull off a big favor for us in the game against West Ham as well.
Wolves,
Otherwise,
yeah,
we'll find
Wolves.
3 points off the top 4 again. But I think West Ham have a really hard run in. Chelsea have a pretty hard run in.
Hey,
And
Declan Rice is out for West Ham 4 weeks, isn't he? Declan Rice, he's out, isn't he? So
yeah,
that's a big miss for them.
So I think we can turn it around. We have the potential. We have the players, and as long as Mourinho doesn't pull some Mourinho crap on us, we should be okay.
Yeah, like in my opinion, how many games are left? How many games are left? 8 games to go.
Have 8.
Yeah. So 3 away games and 5. So we got United, Sheffield, Southampton, Aston Villa, and Wolves at home, and Everton, Leeds, and Leicester away. So in my opinion, like it's not the most easy running, but it's not the most difficult, like especially compared to other teams. I think Everton away, United at home, and Leicester away. Those are the 3 tough games. But in my opinion, like if we can win the other 5, like win all 5, win all 5 of the, I'd say easier games, then 100% we could be in contention. I mean, and also Leicester away is on the last game of the season, so that's going to go down to the wire. But
I think
I don't
honestly,
know. We'll see what happens.
It could come down to the last game of the season against Leicester, and whoever wins that game goes top 4. Sorry. Oh, sorry about that. But Leicester doesn't have the easiest run in, and we've seen in the past that they can slow down towards the end of seasons. So they have West Ham next week. They play Man United, Chelsea, and us in the last 3 games of the season. So I could honestly see them dropping points against Man United, and hopefully they tie against Chelsea, so neither one of them gets too many. And then in the last game of the season, I mean, we should have to hope that we pull out the win. And I mean, even if they just lose 2 games until the end of the season, we're only 7 points off them, so they would be 1 point ahead of us. And then it's basically whoever wins goes through. And then hopefully just everything else can kind of balance out, and Liverpool doesn't find too much form, and West Ham hopefully falls off because they have a pretty hard run in as well. They have,
I think West Ham,
Chelsea.
Yeah, unfortunately. Yeah, I think fortunately for us, I think West Ham are going to drop off form, especially with Rice being injured. And for some reason, Moyes just never seems to play Benrahma too much. And I don't understand why, because Benrahma, in my opinion, is like, for me, like, I think he's a baller, and like, I just don't understand why Moyes doesn't play him as much as he should be. But yeah, as I said, Declan Rice for 4 weeks out, like, that's a big miss for them. West Ham especially. Like,
he's probably been
obviously fortunately for us. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I know they've still got like Thomas Souček and like Bowen and Fornals and Antonio, but unfortunately, like I just don't think they can keep this form up for the last 8 games, 9 games.
Yeah, I agree with you. I hope we didn't just jinx it, but yeah, Bodhi, go ahead.
Yeah, they won't. I promise you, they won't. I'm as confident as Bodhi was with title challenger next season. I'm as confident.
I'm quietly confident about the United game. I don't think it'll be a 6-1. That's for sure. I do think that they will have a different attitude compared to the Newcastle game. I don't know if we'll win, but I do think we will see a huge improvement from the Newcastle game, and that's just because Spurs are inconsistent. I am confident though that we could get at least a draw out of the game. It's definitely possible. I mean,
I hope that if we play sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
Considering we beat United 6-1, I definitely think Jose knows how to set up to do it all over again. So it's just a matter of I think it's all down to the manager's tactics to decide whether or not. Because I mean, player versus player. Spurs can win, I feel like it's definitely down to if Jose sets up right, then the game's ours to lose.
Yeah. I mean, as long as we don't give away a penalty, Bruno Fernandes won't do anything. Not to jinx it, but he hasn't. What has he done this season against the Big Six? So he
never turns up against the Big Six. He never turns up.
So
I've seen people say he turned up against City away. What did he do? He scored a penalty.
Yeah.
I don't think that counts as turning up. But
so
I'm pretty
he's been
certain
one of the biggest threats this season. So I don't think he's going to be too much of an issue for us. Especially, I think Højbjerg has done a really, really good job this season of locking down the other team's cams. So, I mean, it's going to come down to the wingers, I think. And Tanganga, he pocketed Sterling when we played Man City, even though we did lose 3-0. But Tanganga was the bright spot. I think given if Rodon gets the start, I think it'll probably be Rodon played against Chelsea earlier this season, and he made a couple mistakes, but that was his first game for Tottenham.
It was his debut. It was his debut.
Yeah. He'll be totally motivated and up for it. Reguilon loves a good big game. Højbjerg obviously is always consistent. Dombele, I think Dombele will enjoy playing against Pogba, just given that they're both French midfielders and competing for spots in the Euro squad. And I mean, Harry Kane he's Harry Kane, and Son tends to score in those big games as well. So I think we have enough players that should perform that we could get the result. And if we could get like a statement win, like win by 3 goals, I think that would just be so much confidence to flow into the team to go into the run-in. But
what gives me the biggest confidence going into the game is I was watching the United Brighton game last night, and just like us, they started slow. Literally, if we start quick against United like we did in the 6-1, fair enough. I know we went behind, but that was a penalty, so it doesn't count. Yeah. But at the same time, in the 6-1, we started quickly, and literally for the first 20 minutes, of the 6-1, like we looked frightening going forward. Like literally every time we went forward, we looked like we was going to score, and we scored 2 goals in 8 minutes. Remember in the 6-1 or 7 minutes maybe. And literally, I was watching United's game against Brighton. I was like, they're 2-1 win. And how literally, I'm like, Bruno carries that team as much as Kane has carried us this season. Like, it's unreal. And in my opinion, like if we can keep Fernandes quiet, like I have no doubt we can get at least a draw in this game because obviously Kane's been deadly all season. Son can, I guess Son can trouble myself and Lindelof with his pace. So so 100%. Like I have no doubt we can get a result against United because we can do, but then again, it's up to the mentality of the players.
I think there's going to be a lot of pressure on Mourinho's job as well. So I think he's going to have to play the players that want to play for him. I mean, if you look at the players that have come out and supported him, it's Kane has there's been rumors that Kane is liking playing for Mourinho. Son likes to play for Mourinho. Tanganga must love playing for Mourinho, given that he gave him his debut. Højbjerg is a Mourinho signing. Reguilon's a Mourinho signing. So I think most teams are going to want to play for him. And the Everton game just finished. Max just sent it to the group chat, and they drew with Palace. So that's great for us. I mean, I think I'm a little overconfident going into this game. I'll be honest, but I think we could get a result.
100% we can. People are judging us. I mean, to be honest, in the Premier League, in my opinion, rival fans judge you based off your recent form.
Yeah.
I guess all the talking is done on the pitch on the day. You know what I mean? And that's the whole story with Tottenham. Because the thing is, last 3 years, for example, these 3 games have summed up Tottenham completely. Yeah. All right, listen to this. We beat Everton 6-2 at Goodison. We beat Bournemouth 5-0 on Boxing Day, and then we lose 3-1 to Wolves. That is literally the most Tottenham run of form that you could ever think of. We could literally pull out a 4-0 win on Sunday, and then we'll go and lose to bloody Leeds away. Yeah, that's literally us. That's literally us. But you never know. As I said earlier, if we keep Fernandes quiet and Tanganga has Rashford in his pocket or Sergio, either one who plays, 100%, we can get a result.
And that's another good point. If Aurier comes back in the team, he's going to have a massive point to prove that he is a right back that we should keep. And there's rumors that he wants to leave this summer anyway. But it'll be an opportunity for him to get minutes. So if he does want to leave, he's going to have to prove to potential suitors that he's worth the money. And he's only started. I saw a stat. I'm probably going to quote it wrong, but I think he only has one start in the last 13 Premier League appearance, or Spurs last 13 Premier League games, or something like that. So he's going to have a massive point to prove if we do bring him in. And he played really well against Man United last time out. So
yeah,
I'd like to see him. I'd like to see Tanganga too. I love him. So yeah, I mean, call me overconfident, but I think we could get a result. This turned into like a really positive podcast after such a trap 2-2 draw against Newcastle.
I don't know how we've been this positive after we grew to after we conceded 22 shots to a Steve Bruce side with this positive going to United.
Yeah. Bodhi, anything to add on Man United?
The academy.
Alfie Devine is going to be the best player in the world.
All right. Figured something like that. All right.
Nice.
Anything else you guys want to add before we wrap it up?
I'd say one last thing. Our academy is really good. Right. Thanks for watching. That's what needs to be said. To be said.
Our academy is very good. I think that wraps it up.
Yeah, it wraps it up.
Probably the best academy in the world, if you ask Bodhi.
Yeah. Voice of facts.
All right. Well, thank you for listening. This has been another episode of the One Hotspur podcast. We really appreciate you guys. Remember to subscribe to us on YouTube. We've been making some more videos on there. Follow us on Instagram at One Hotspur Pod, and leave a comment on if you're watching this on YouTube. Let us know what you think, and leave a comment on our Instagram. Tell us what you think about the game going into Man United. We appreciate you guys. Come on, you Spurs.